The year is 1658. Oliver Cromwell has died. The Republican Commonwealth he founded is now on the brink of collapse. The call for a strong leadership to govern the country grows larger. After 1 year, Charles II, son of the beheaded Charles I, is asked to return to England. In 1660, he returns to London and the British monarchy is restored. However, not all is well. The population of the United Kingdom is still heavily divided, and Charles turns out to be a friend of France, and even a Catholic. And in a time of trouble, the citizens of the United Kingdom grow averse to the king, who turns out to be an ordinary degenerate and a drunk, and the morale in the country isn't very high anyway after the Great Plague and the fire of London. And when the king later loses a large and expensive war with the Dutch, even Parliament seems to grow tired of Charles. Then it is discovered that Charles' brother, James, is openly Catholic and has intentions to rule once again as an absolute monarch. A significant number of members of Parliament wants to pass a bill to deny James the crown. A constitutional crisis is the result. However, the bill was rejected by the House of Lords. When Charles dies, James becomes king. He passes laws limiting religious freedom and appoints Catholics on high positions. The smouldering fuse finally erupts, and the people of the United Kingdom almost immediately rebel against the new Catholic Church of England. The Protestants in Scotland are defeated quickly, but then, in the West Country, the bastard son of Charles II, the Duke of Monmouth, raises an army and conquers large parts of the south and the west of England before being defeated by James. And now the game was on. James used his power to suppress his enemies. He ordered the arrest of large numbers of dissenters, including 7 bishops who refused to carry out James' restrictive church policies. And in 1688, James fathered a son, which caused great tension among Parliament and among the high in the land. Before this, the throne would have gone to James' daughter, Mary, who was a Protestant. But now a Catholic dynasty seemed likely. Influential English politicians conspired against the king and decided that they had to act and remove James from power. Mary's husband was William of Orange, the stadtholder of the United Provinces of the Netherlands. He was also a Protestant and a very tolerant and modern ruler. It was decided that he would be a worthy alternative for James, and was secretly decided that William, supported by large fractions in Parliament and in the country, would overthrow James in a revolution. And thus happened. William sailed from the Netherlands to England with a small fleet. He arrived in the southwest of England, where most of his supporters had gathered. It quickly turned out that James's army wasn't that eager to fight William either, and many secretly supported the revolt. In a rapid march, William's army conquered large parts of the country, and it didn't take long before James fled to France. In December 1688, William and Mary were crowned king and queen. Shortly after, they repealed the absolutist decrees of James and passed a Bill of Rights, paving the way for a freer and more prosperous England.